Hey, Judy, can you just say hello to make sure that your microphone is working?
Sure. Hello?
Oh, lovely. Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, Bart.
Hello.
All right. Well, we have everyone here, so Nolan or Stephanie, you can get started with the slides, and then we can get the ball moving.
Okay.
Sounds good. Good morning. That's the kind of day I've been having. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the East Franklinton Review Board meeting. We're starting at 3 o'clock today. The meeting date is 2/24/2021. This meeting is being live streamed to YouTube and being recorded. Just a few items to keep in mind before we get started. All attendees are muted upon meeting entry, and you will be unmuted as appropriate. The chair will call on participants to speak, and if you have questions, feel free to send those to me, Nolan Harshaw, in the WebEx chat at the bottom right corner of your screen. You will be required to have your video feature on if you are speaking. Oh, that switched. Sorry about that. Okay. At this moment, go ahead, applicants and speakers, go ahead and turn off your video and you can mute yourselves. Order of speaking, city staff will present application materials. The applicant will be sworn in and asked to present additional materials. Registered speakers will be sworn in and provided 3 minutes to speak, and commissioners will discuss the case and ask questions if needed. One last housekeeping item. I am no longer unable to mute people. So if I do mute you, if I hear some feedback or anything like that, I may mute you. Don't take offense. But just realize that you may be muted before you speak, so keep an eye on that. And with that, I'll hand it over to the chair.
Okay, thank you. And I would like to call this meeting of the East Franklinton Review Board to order. Belkis, you are the sole staff member who will be presenting today. So if you will state your name for the record, please.
Yes, Belkis Schoenhall.
And you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge and belief.
Yes, I do.
Okay, call the roll, please.
Yes, Dr. Box,
Present.
Mr. Ebner, Mr. Fergus, Mr. Manfred,
Present.
Mr. Overly,
Here.
and Mr. Szymanski.
Present.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. So this is a public forum. If persons wishing to address the commission on matters not posted on the agenda are invited to do so. Communication should be kept to a 3-minute limit, and you will have to, is there a hand raising function on this, Belkis? Or Nolan? Your choice.
Nolan, can you speak to
Yeah,
that?
there is. Yeah, there's actually a hand raising function right next to your name in the participants panel. It's invisible, but if you hover over it, it does say raise hand.
Okay, very good. So use that, and then we can call on you if you have something. If a member of the public wishes to address the board. In the meantime, has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes from the last meeting held on January 27th, 2021? And if so, I would entertain a motion regarding those minutes.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, motion has been moved and seconded. Belkis, call the roll, please.
Yes, Dr. Box,
Present.
Mr. Ebner,
Okay.
Mr. Fergus,
Approve.
Mr. Manfred,
Approved.
Mr. Overly,
Approve.
and Mr. Samansky.
Approve.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on. Old business applications for certificates of approval. Our sole application today is EF 2101002. Address is 500 West Walnut Street. Applicant and owner is Jim Sweeney, and we are reviewing a change of certificate of approval for change of use. Elka, staff report, please.
Yes, and this is actually the first of two applications. So we have one application of old business and one application of new business. But yeah, so for this application, it's at 500 West Walnut Street, which is a single-family home located in the Arts and Innovation Subdistrict. The applicant is seeking a change of use and parking reduction to convert the interior of the home into a bar. The exterior changes of use, building alterations, and graphics are not a part of the current application and may be submitted at a future date. The application will allow a change of use only with no other site alterations. And so if we look at the materials here, you'll see the front elevation of the home, which are the renderings, and then a summary of the square footage and parking required. The next page. And then here you have a site plan just showing, you know, the lot lines and then the dimensions of the home. And so after review, the application is generally consistent with the recommendations of the East Franklinton District Curative Community Plan. The plan does permit eating and drinking establishments in this location and recommends that historic and other contributing buildings be preserved to the extent possible. A parking reduction of 11 parking spaces is requested, and 0 parking will be required or will be provided. And for the change of use, and the proposed East Franklinton special parking area, which is in draft form, would require 4 parking spaces. So after preliminary conversations with the city's Historic Preservation Office, it is unlikely that the individual home can be listed, as too many modifications to the original structure have been made over time. But the applicant is preserving the home and exploring the option of listing the residential street on the historic register. And as such, staff does support the interior change of use and full parking reduction and recommends approval. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Belkis. Any questions for staff? Okay, Mr. Sweeney,
Yes,
state your name for the record, please.
James Sweeney.
You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, I do.
Okay, the floor is yours. If you have anything to add.
I don't think I'll take much of your time adding anything. Nothing's really changed since the last we spoke. So I'll just leave it there, unless you have
Okay.
questions.
All right, anybody have any questions for Mr. Sweeney? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Jim, this is TJ.
Hey. Hey, TJ.
You had previously mentioned that you had kind of had discussions with the other homeowners on the block about and I think we were all really open to the fact of possibly having a Walnut pedestrian walking area with multiple retail and or restaurant establishments. Are the person directly to your west that's essentially vacant at this point, correct?
That's correct. It's a vacant house.
And the person south directly to you, it's occupied?
South of me is Secret Studio.
I'm sorry, not south, east, excuse me.
It is occupied, yes. It's been rehabbed.
I guess we're assuming that we're not requiring or asking any neighboring property owners to sign off on this. I didn't know where if worth bringing up as somebody not present on this call from a neighborhood standpoint, would have any feedback from it. Have you spoken with all of your adjacent neighbors and
Yes. I've not spoken to the neighbor next door, as I don't know who that is. I mean, to the east, the one we mentioned, but I'm sorry, to the west, that is.
the
To
new
east.
owner?
Yeah, I've spoken to Mitzi Turner, and beyond her is Chris Howell, and they're enthusiastic about the idea. I've also spoken to the neighbors immediately to the north, that is Triad. They're enthusiastic, as are neighbors to the south, which is the Secret Studio, and they are also enthusiastic. So we've actually formed a little group called the Walnut Street Partnership that is not registered as a nonprofit yet, but we're looking at doing that as a way to control the trajectory of the street. So all these people that I mentioned are part of that, except for Triad.
And this is a follow-up question to staff. As to the neighbors, what rights do they have after this meeting if they wish to, in theory, again, I'm saying in theory, if they wish to oppose any actions we have today that approving the application?
Okay. So if someone were to not agree to the decision after the fact, there is an appeals process. So they could write in to the, I don't know the full name. It's called BOCA. I think it's like Board of Appeals Commission. And that's where they could, express, I guess their conflict with the decision. And then in future meetings, they could of course come and be a part of the public forum where they could give a statement. But in terms of the vote, once it would be approved today, it would be in effect. You can't unapprove it, I guess, so to say. But they do have a way.
It's not an appealable order, not an appealable decision, in other words, in any way, shape, or form?
No, it's not appealable. No, they would be able to express, there's maybe dissatisfaction, but there isn't a way to unapprove something in the future.
Okay, I just want to be straight on that because the question was asked about neighboring opposition.
And
generally speaking, they need to show up at the meeting.
It's a publicized meeting. The agenda
And the plan's been in place since what, 14?
Yeah.
Right. No, I'm not debating any of that, but I want to be clear on the record as to what's as to what's going on, in terms of the neighbors. They've had notice and an opportunity to be heard, and they're not here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And this is for the interior use only. This has nothing to do with the exterior yards or the exterior of the structure. This change of use only applies to the inside.
Understood.
And with changing this use, Jim, do you have a time frame on anything, or are you still going to be occupying it as a residential building for the foreseeable future?
That's going to depend on the bank and my ability to fundraise. So I will be occupying it for the next 2 months as residential use until I'm able to raise all my finances and start construction.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, is there a motion to be had?
move to approve the application as submitted.
I'll second.
Motion, and it's been seconded.
Was that
Malkus,
seconded
call
by
the roll,
TJ?
please.
Yes, Belkis.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Bach,
Approve.
Mr. Egner,
Approve.
Mr. Fergus,
Approve.
Mr. Manfred,
Approve.
Mr. Overly,
Approve.
and Mr. Szymanski.
Approve.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Sure we'll be seeing you back here.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks.
Okay, our other agenda item, new application, application number EF 21-02001, address 470 West Broad Street. Applicant is Brooke Miller with HIT Services LLC, and we are reviewing an application for a co-work cabinet sign. Belka, staff report, please.
Yeah, so 470 West Broad Street is a tenant location within the Gravity development in the West Broad Street subdistrict. So the applicant is proposing a 6-inch thick LED lit projecting box cabinet blade sign with a flange plate attachment, which does not align with the board approved Gravity retail signage guidelines and thus required board review. So if we can look at the materials. All right, so here we have a rendering of the sign. So you can see here, it is a blade sign, but it is like in a box cabinet style. And then the next page, please. Okay, so here are the sign schematics. You can see the size of the sign and then the thickness there. And then this bottom right-hand photo, it's a little hard to see, but what essentially they're looking to do is they want to like route out the lettering. So it's like routed lettering versus like a push through lettering style. And then the last page, please. And then this is the sign at night. And again, it's a little hard to tell, but essentially what would be illuminated is the COVA lettering. And then that box banner below where I think it says like co-work and childcare. So that's the illumination at night. And so after staff review, the proposal is generally not consistent with the recommendations of the East Franklinton Creative Community District Plan. The sign is pedestrian in scale. However, internally illuminated box cabinet signs are not appropriate, and the maximum horizontal projection measured from the building should not exceed 4 feet per plan recommendation. And furthermore, the board-approved Gravity retail signage guidelines state that tenants are to have 2-inch thick blade signs with push-through lettering that extend a maximum of 4 feet from the building and are mounted with an L bracket. So based on the design not meeting these guidelines, staff does recommend that the application be tabled. The applicant may rework the design, and if the new design meets the Gravity retail signage guidelines, it can be staff approved. And I do want to add, so since the original design that was given to me, this is actually an updated version that I recently received. And so this updated version actually, we do get over that hurdle of it extending too far out. So now we are at 4 feet and it is mounted, you know, flush to the wall. So we're okay there. But really the reason why at this point it's coming before you all is it's not meeting those, the Gravity guidelines that they set for their tenants. And so it doesn't have the push through lettering. So are we okay with that? It's a little bit too thick. It's thicker than the 2 inches. So is the thickness okay? And then lastly, are you all right with how it's illuminated? And so it's really those 3 points that, you know, I'm asking you all to consider and talk about. And if you're amenable, that's fine. And then if not, staff is suggesting that we table it so they can rework the design and come back with a new application. So that's where we are today. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Belkis. Any questions for staff?
Hey, Belkis, this is TJ. Did Jessica Shuren provide a letter in support of this on behalf of the project?
Yes, so there is a letter of support that was provided from Jessica saying that it's fine with them. It's just, I can't, just because a support letter is written, I can't staff approve it. I still have to bring it before you all, which is why we're here today. But yes,
Sure.
that was provided. Yes.
Understood.
And Belkis, this is Ryan. Maybe so with the 2 inches thick, and I guess I got to refresh my memory on there. Is how would it be illuminated on that, or is the gravity just saying they don't want illuminated if it's a blade sign?
Yeah, so they actually, do we have, I think those guidelines are there, Stephanie or Nolan? And if you have those, can you go to page 7? So they said that illumination is fine, so we're good there. They specified LED illumination.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the differences are, but
Okay, this is
typically,
extremely
like,
helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what the guidelines that Gravity set for the tenants, and so since it doesn't meet this, that's why I have to bring it to you all. I can't staff approve it.
But additionally,
again, if
Jessica
you're all right-
Shuren with Gravity wrote a letter of support saying, though it does not match their own criteria, the Gravity
Mhm.
was in support of this sign in specific.
Okay.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yes.
I want to say too, Jessica Sharon was unfortunately unable to make it today, but I'm Jessica Tomsick, and I'm actually property manager and regional manager over Gravity. I just wanted to kind of echo that.
I'm sorry. I think we need to swear you in first.
Yeah,
Anyone-
let's get everybody sworn in here for the applicant, Jessica, and then Stephanie, or that's not Stephanie. Who we got here? We got one more person here, as I remember it, who's
It's
Brooke Miller?
Brooke and Megan.
okay. So Stephanie and Brooke, state your names for the record, please. Stephanie? Hello.
Oh, I think it's
Jessica?
Brooke and Megan.
I was going to say Jessica, Brooke, and Megan are all of us here for this issue.
Okay, so if each of you in turn would state your names for the record.
My name's Jessica Tomsick.
Okay,
Brooke Miller.
Megan Boone.
okay. And
I think Stephanie did state her name. It was
It's
cut off a little bit, but
okay, is it good enough for government work here, guys?
good enough for
Yes,
government work.
yeah.
Okay, all right, so each of you, do you swear or affirm that the statements that the testimony you're about to give will be true and accurate to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
I do.
I do.
Okay, I heard 3 I do's. Perfect. All right, then,
And sorry, one last thing. I think Megan's camera needs to be turned on for her commentary to count, or we need to have the video on too.
there we go. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, we got everybody's cameras on. Good. All right, thank you, Megan. Yep, floor is yours, Jessica.
Okay, hi everybody. Thanks for getting us settled in. Jessica Shuren, who I know has presented to you guys quite a few times, was unable to make it today. So I am representing the Gravity Project in her stead. I'm the regional manager with Kaufman and oversee the Gravity Project. And I did just want to second that we do approve this signage. It was really kind of came down to the brand fit as well with their logo design to make a few accommodations so that we could make this work. So wanted to let you know that they have our support to move forward, and any other questions on kind of more intricate details of signage, Brooke can respond to.
Yeah, I can add that we really, a 2-inch thick, this is not a box sign. It is a blade sign. The 2-inch thick isn't really realistic. I think there are 2 other blade signs on property, the Roosevelt and Axon. Both of those are 8-inch thick. They do have push through. The reason, there are a couple reasons why we decided on the reverse dimension lettering. First and foremost was just really to conform to their brand. The letters themselves don't really adhere well to a push through. There would be a strong drop shadow. It allows them also to be able to use their color in their brand, which is very important to them. there was a third factor in there, which was cost, just during these current times. Being able to bring the cost down on the sign a little bit definitely helped them be able to move forward with being able to add the blade sign, which one helps their business and helps gravity as well.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant?
Just a comment. Despite the fact that it deviates a little bit from the gravity guidelines, I think it'll be a very attractive, and it's a nicely integrated design to the logo, which I think is what we're looking for. So.
Yeah, it looks like they brought the size of the sign down to be reasonably in line with the guidelines. That's important.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve as submitted.
Okay.
Who seconded?
It has been moved and seconded.
Matt, with the second.
Oh, okay.
If we know who
Thank
made the
you.
motion second, Belkis, call the roll, please.
Yes, Dr. Voss,
Approve.
Mr. Egner,
Approved.
Mr. Fergus,
Approve.
Mr. Manfred,
Approve.
Mr. Overly,
Approve.
Mr. Szymanski.
Approve.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. And with that, we have no further business before the board. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, March 24th at 3 p.m. via WebEx. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Belkis, give me a call, please.
Yep, I'll give you a call.
Thanks.